get into the other hurdle races. We've got 5 to talk about: Boodles, Coral Cup, Attempts, County Hurdle, Martin Pipe. Craig, I'll start with you again. What have we got for these races?
Again, just a couple. I think there's a lot of sorting out still to be done for the likes of the Coral Cup and Martin Pipe with horses, and even the County Hurdle. We're looking at engagements and where horses is going to run. The Pertemps, I think, is of interest. Obviously, different qualifying conditions this year that could make a difference. Fingal Bay was a winner of this race many moons ago after he won a qualifier at Exeter. Not many Pertemps winners actually win a qualifier, because the handicapper usually has the say. They look a little bit exposed come the big day, and they find it hard to defy the weight rise. So the fact that Walking on Air won the Exeter race this year hasn't gone up too much. I think he probably needed to win to get into the racing, in fairness. The step up to 3 miles has been the making of him. I think they've obviously planned this. Again, mapping his season backwards. I think he's well treated, and I think Nicky Henderson's in for a fantastic festival, and this could be a big handicap winner for him. And the other one I think is very interesting in the Boodles, Ben Paulin. We're hoping that he has a couple of handicap winners, and he's got a horse called Bad. We haven't seen him running on these shows yet. He's had 3 runs in France. You can log on to France Gallop and watch his races, and you will be very, very impressed with his win last time. Held up out the back, went past a big field like they were standing still, came hard onto the bridle when he hit the front, and then when he was joined again, he went through the gears and quickened away impressively. Circuit time was absolutely fantastic for that run in France. I believe he hasn't run because they're looking to protect his mark for Cheltenham. He's been well backed in recent days. I think there's still some dimple figures around. I think he's a really decent each way bet in the Boodles.
Brilliant. Callum, what is your thoughts on the other hurdle races this week?
Yeah, I'll fly through these. In the Boodles, I really like Tikal. I think he would have been bang there on the finish in Grade 1 if Mark Walsh, bothered to go with Galamarco. It was one of the biggest non-trials ever. I mean, his initial 128, he's been given £7, 135. Still think he's probably £10 to still play with. I think he's probably rightful favourite. I think Biker's a big danger though of Charles Burns's. He shaped well in that race at Sir Alan, one that's a pretty accurate historical pointer to win that. So I think the market's pretty correct there. The other one that I quite like, Coral Cup's San Salvador at 16 to 1 for Joseph O'Brien. I think he's their really only kind of real handicap chance. Watch out going right-handed. He whipped away from a good 3-miler and held on at the line. So nice tactical, like a horse that bursts away in a Coral Cup. Mrs. Milner did it to devastating effect, for instance. Young unexposed horses do quite well. I believe the Coral Cup is the target over the Martin Pipe to keep JJ Slevin aboard. Other one I quite like, Path de Rue in the County Hurdle. He's got good Grade 1 form. It was easy to forget that he went off 5 to 1 for the Royal Bon Marine Nationale. Kind of went wrong, pulled up, but he quickly rectified that last time out by winning quite well at Navan. It's a race that's usually a decent pointer. Intranet unfortunately broke down for Willie Mullins. I think he would probably have been his County Hurdle horse without a shadow of a doubt that year. They were all kind of mapping out to get 3 runs in them. I think there's mileage off 141. And he's kind of the young novice, unexposed type that you quite like in that race. And in the Martin Pipe, I think Cool Survivor's probably the one for the Gordon Elliott yard there off 135. I thought he just ran for a mark, and then Nathaniel Lacey stayed on, showed a bit of pace to be 4th. And I don't think he was ever put into that race at all. So I think they'd be happy with that. And yeah, I think there's scope for him off that, Martin. He's around 8 to 1. So they'd be my best bets over the hurdles.
Brilliant. Mark, your best bets over the other hurdle races?
Yeah, the hurdle races are really difficult. I'll surprise you here. What do you think the average handicap winner went off at last season? The SP average of the handicap winners? 22 to 1. So it wasn't really the head of the market apart from Stateman. I really thought I'd found one for the Pertemps a few weeks ago, Captain Morgs. I was really, really keen on him. Then Henderson pulled out Walking on Air. And I thought, well, that's going to be a danger. And then all of a sudden, this pipe horse comes out of nowhere at Chepstow in the final qualifier, gets a £12 hike just to get into the race on 128. I really worry about that. Thanks for the help. It looked an utter J. Plea prod. He's just got in the last qualifier. He's going to get in as the bottom weight. And he's absolutely bolted in. I don't know if you've seen that qualifier, but it was pulling a cart behind. It was getting eased down from the second last, just about. So, yeah, that's really worrying. But I loved Captain Morgs' win. I have to stick with him. I backed him at 20-1. I quite like him. And like Callum, well, there's two Gigginstown handicappers I like. Cool Survivor for the Martin Pipe, I think, is the one for Calantra. I don't think it's Imagine. They've been touting Imagine all over the place on the preview nights. I think Cool Survivor's the one. And I liked Beacon Edge for the Coral Cup. I think Gigginstown have done this for a few years now. They've been taking horses who've not quite done it over fences, taking them back over hurdles of decent marks. And Cracking Smart got a really, really bad start and then flew into fourth. And then they won it last year with Commander of Fleet. I think Beacon Edge has got a chance in the Coral Cup as well. So that'd be my two. Three: Beacon Edge, Cool Survivor, and Captain Morgs.
Brilliant. I'll just run through mine quickly. In the Boodles, I'm with Callum. Callum's going to talk me into Takal. I think Takal could be the best horse in the race. I wouldn't put anyone off Jazzy Matty each way either. I think he's got scope to improve. He was obviously finished in front of Takal back in the past, but he's won. I think he's off 128. I think he could be well handicapped to hit the frame. Coral Cup, I don't really have anything that caught my eye. The one horse that I'm kind of settled on, whether he goes here or Martin Pipe, is Iroko for Oliver Greenall. I think he could be really, really interesting. He's only off 138, which I think he's well handicapped. Was really, really impressive the last time out in good ground. I think he could be a wee class angle there. I think you can get about 14-1 Coral Cup, about 16 Martin Pipe. I would back him in either of them, to be honest. Pertemps, I think Shoot First could just be very well in. I think he's probably the best horse in the race. I think he could be the Stairs Hurdle horse for Charles Burns next year. Botox Haas, I wouldn't put anyone off either. I've went to the mill with this horse a lot, and it was in the same qualifier as Shoot First, and it just looks a good player. Probably going to be off top weight. I think he's a good chance. County Hurdle, if Hunter's Yarn turns up, I think he's a good thing. I really like this horse. Followed him all season. Milkwood would be an each way player as well in that race. And I'm completely opposite. I think Imagine is my play in the Martin Pipe. I think he's been the plan all season. 135. He was third behind he was third behind on Hunter's Yarn, and I like the way you're thinking. I think he could be 135. I think it's fine for him here. And that is my handicap players in the hurdles.